In this video, we're reviewing the Chase UK current account and savings account, which at time of filming has the highest paid interest rate on the market at 1.5%. The current account was launched in September 2021, and when they announced it, I was genuinely quite excited as you can get over a bank account. I particularly liked the sound of a numberless card that could be used to spend from any of your jars, but we'll talk more on this later.
There was also a ton of other exciting features, but unfortunately, when the current account launched, there was a bit of a problem. Well, it was a bit of a major problem to be fair. There was no direct debit feature. Imagine that! A current account without direct debits is about as useful as a chocolate teapot.
Anyway, that was finally resolved in March 2022, and since then I've taken Chase UK's current account and subsequently its savings account for a test drive in the hope that it could become my main account. In this review of Chase Bank UK, we'll look at the key features, what makes it so good, what they could do better, and discuss what we don't like. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know whether you want to start banking with Chase Bank.
Just so you know, as always, this is a totally independent review and we're not being paid by Chase. They are running a limited referral scheme though, where they're giving away £20 to new customers. So while that lasts, we'll pin a comment down below telling you how you can get that. It's also worth checking out the Money Unshackled offers page for other fantastic cash bonus offers. Right now there are thousands of pounds up for grabs, like multiple free shares, discounts on investing services, and hundreds of pounds of free cash. Now, with that said, let's check it out.
What is Chase Bank? Chase Bank is a banking giant. It has 56 million US customers and is part of JPMorgan Chase, which is the largest bank in the United States. The launch of a UK current account under the Chase brand is their first retail banking operation outside of the US. For its UK business, it will be a digital-only bank which will take on the likes of Monzo, Starling and Revolut. Any money you deposit up to a total of £85,000 will be protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme.
In June 2021, JPMorgan Chase agreed to acquire digital wealth manager Nutmeg, which is intended to complement its UK bank. Presumably, Nutmeg's investment services will eventually be integrated within the Chase app as an additional service for its UK customers.
Chase Bank UK key features, what we like. 1% rewards. Whenever you use your card in the shops or online, you will receive 1% cashback. It's not going to make you rich, but it's a nice little extra when you do your weekly shop, fill up the car, or when you grab a coffee. If this was the only reason for you to grab a Chase Bank card, we wouldn't bother. The cashback period is only for 12 months, and even if you spend £10,000 in a year, that's only £100. There's also a fair number of exclusions where you won't earn any cashback, such as debt repayments or use in antique shops.
If the sole purpose was to earn some easy money, you might want to consider a bank that pays you to switch instead, as you can get a faster and bigger payout. At time of filming, HSBC were giving new switchers £170, and these kinds of offers are frequently available.
Some people like to do all their spending on a credit card, or at least the big purchases, but this offer is only on their debit card. In fact, Chase UK don't even offer a credit card yet, but surely they will eventually. A few years back when Thomas Cook went belly up, I was glad I bought my flights on a credit card as I got refunded for my cancelled flights. Section 75 protection only covers credit cards, so it's just something to consider before going ahead and putting all your purchases on your Chase debit card.
Instant notifications. Whenever payments leave or enter your account, you will get an alert on your phone. To us, this is a vital security measure. Chase obviously considers it useful because they implemented it in the first place, but they must not think it's a big deal to customers, as there didn't appear to be any mention of this on their site. But once you've used a bank that gives alerts, you won't want to go back to an old bank that doesn't.
Best interest rate on savings. It wasn't that long ago when we said, forget about interest rates as they were all as bad as each other. But since then, interest rates have been rising and Chase have intelligently raised the bar. As a new entrant into the UK retail banking scene, they need to get customers, and there's no better way to do this than by paying a market-beating interest rate. They pay 1.5%, which smashes the competition. You can put away 250 grand and you can have 10 different savings accounts, which is very handy if you like to save for specific purposes. Maybe you have a holiday pot, a Christmas pot and an emergency fund and things like that.
You can also pay directly into the savings account from other banks and transfer out directly from it. Some banks lock their savings accounts down, so you have to transfer into your current account first, which is an unnecessary step. One criticism though is that we would have liked them to have offered a flexible cash ISA, paying the same high interest rate. Most Brits store a lot of their wealth in cash, so we at least would have liked them to offer the benefits of a tax wrapper. One last thing here is that you must have a Chase current account to get their savings account.
Categorise spending insights. The best way to manage your money is to know where you spend it. We both love a spreadsheet, but they're not practical for tracking everyday spending, and most people are never going to use one.
Thankfully, many innovative banking apps like Chase have introduced categorised spending directly within their apps. With Chase, you can see how much you're spending on groceries, shopping, transport, bills, and so on. However, you can't customise the categories, so you're stuck with what you're given, but this is no different to Starling, which we love and reviewed in this video.
Good, but should have been better. Free accounts and Numberless card. This was the most anticlimactic feature, and I was genuinely annoyed when it turned out to be much less than expected. In fact, Chase's execution of this feature is highly flawed, allowing money to be spent from accounts that you did not intend. Before launching, we were led to believe that you could have multiple jars, very much like Starling's Spaces, but better, as each jar would have their own account number and you could spend directly from each account. This would be different from having 20 current accounts because they would all share one card.
The reality is that each account does not have its own card number or virtual card number. An increasing number of subscription services, like Netflix and Spotify, bill you using that long card number rather than a direct debit. It's what's known as a recurring payment. This is a major problem with Chase because you assign your card to whichever account you want to spend from. This works perfectly when you're in a shop and you want to spend from, say, an account you designated for clothes, but your recurring payments will be charged to whichever account you most recently left the card assigned to, meaning you could have seemingly random charges for subscription services leaving random accounts. This issue could be resolved by allowing virtual card numbers on each account, which is a feature on Monzo's paid-for accounts. But come on, most people don't want to pay for banking.
Zero fees from Chase Abroad. Not that long ago, you'd go on holiday and you'd have to remortgage your house when you got back just to pay for all the horrendous overseas bank fees. Today though, things seem to have gotten a lot better as many banks are now giving us free use abroad. Chase are one of those great banks, allowing you to pay for things or use ATMs abroad with no fees from Chase. But for some strange reason, they've placed a cash withdrawal limit from foreign ATMs of just £700 a month, which is going to be unworkable for some countries. Not every country in the world has gone cashless like the West has. It's been a few years since I travelled to Southeast Asia, but it would have been impossible to get around without more cash than that, as not many places accept card payments. If Chase are trying to limit their costs, then surely they should just allow more cash withdrawals and pass the fee over to the customer. Having a physical limit is crazy.
What we don't like. Slow app. The app is way too slow for our liking. We expect instant page loads, but that just doesn't happen. Considering this is a brand new app that we believe was created from the ground up, it should have been super slick. Instead, it passes as acceptable. Maybe this will be something they can improve over time.
No way to pay checks in. I know we must sound like dinosaurs, but the inability to pay in checks could be a problem. I can't remember the last time I received a check, but you do need the functionality just in case. Without it, you'll always need a backup bank that does allow you to pay checks in.
No overdrafts. Whether you use them or not, access to an overdraft is always handy to have. You never know when an unexpected bill might arise, and it's good knowing that you'll never be caught short. According to Finder.com, 26 million Brits use an overdraft every year, so it's safe to assume that Chase might be missing out on a lot of potential customers by not offering one. As overdrafts are such an important part of banking, not to mention a very profitable revenue stream for banks, presumably this will be on Chase's to-do list.
Not part of the Confirmation of Payee Service, but coming soon. This probably won't be a deal breaker, but right now when you or someone makes a payment to your Chase current account or savings account, your details won't be verified. Most other banks check the name on the account is who you expect. It's a fantastic security feature that most banks implemented a few years back.
What you might like, but we don't. Before we wrap up, there's one feature that Chase promotes heavily, so presumably a lot of people like this, but it's a gimmick. You can earn 5% interest on your spare change when you round up your spending. First off, roundups are not a good way to save. Saving should be intentional and part of a pre-planned budget. There's nothing intentional about having random amounts of money siphoned off, and nor is it helpful for keeping track of your outgoings.
And secondly, while 5% does sound epic, the reality is that you will save next to nothing through this method of saving. Say you manage to save £1,000 over the year through roundups. You would expect to earn just £25 in interest if the £1,000 is built up evenly throughout the year, or in other words, hardly worth mentioning. And we're being generous in our example using £1,000 saved over a year. You need to do an awful lot of spending to accumulate that amount of money from spare change.
Conclusion. Overall, Chase is a very good current account and savings account. A few tweaks here and there and it would be contender for best bank. It certainly looks like they're trying to disrupt the UK banking scene with such things as market-leading interest rates and multiple free accounts. Let's hope they continue shaking up the market, and we're excited to see where this goes.
So that wraps up the review. Let us know down in the comments what you like and dislike about Chase, and if you're still unsure, feel free to ask us any questions. We do our best to answer as many as we can. Thanks for watching! On this channel we'll talk a lot about personal finance, investing and all things money, and if you want to see more great content, please click the subscribe button below.
This is MoneyUnshackled.com. See you next time.